Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I have filmed this video, this is number 4, so I'm super annoyed. But yeah, obviously you can tell from the title, and if you read my Instagram post, this is going to be kind of like a life update, what's been going on, some things that I've been going through. And yeah, every single time I've recorded this, I want to make sure I'm correctly saying the things that I want to say, and I don't know, this is like a very personal thing, so I want to make sure that it's really coming across perfectly. I know that's probably impossible, but I want to get there as best I can. So yeah, I don't want this to be super wordy, and I want this to be helpful, and I want this to be informative, even though it's just about my life. But that is where we're at. Sorry, I guess this is 9 o'clock on Kathleen's time because it's literally Friday, and I said I was going to post it last night. So we're doing good. But yeah, so I guess kind of where I want to start with this video is exactly 2 weeks ago today, the Friday before Memorial Day, I voluntarily committed myself to the psychiatric ward at my local hospital. So I guess kind of back up leading into that, I've said before in my videos that I've struggled since I was younger with anxiety and depression. I had a binge eating disorder. I've been in and out of therapy. I've never seen a psychiatrist, but I have been on different medications from my primary care physician, and then I've spoken with a counselor lots and lots and lots of times. So yeah, I have been on and off medication since I was about 21, and most recently, I guess about September of last year, I was taking an antidepressant. I was taking Xanax for anxiety. I was having really bad panic attacks, especially after the hurricane. But I don't want to get too much into personal stuff because it involves other people and not just myself, so that is not my place to talk about. But I was in a really, really, really low place in October of 2018, and the Sunday before Halloween, I actually took what was left in my prescription Xanax bottle and drank almost an entire 5th of vodka. Thankfully, my mom was there, my husband was there, they took care of me. I refused to go to the hospital when I did start coming around, and I saw a paramedic, and he said that it was probably had something to do with my gastric bypass surgery, with how my body processed the pills and processed the alcohol. So I was still here. I did not at that time seek out professional help. I said I didn't need it, and I didn't have time for it. So I just kind of went about my life. Things were good. We bought a house, we moved. I'd started a job that I was really enjoying when I did start it. And we kind of went from there. I saw the fertility specialist. We got put on that round of fertility drugs, and I was in a really good place through November, December, and January. And then in February, when Jake left right before Valentine's Day, I was doing okay. I feel like I was really doing okay, but then we got the negative pregnancy test, and I started my period, and from there it was kind of like a downward spiral. The whole month of February, I was really sad. I was going out and getting blackout drunk every single weekend, and really just trying to self-medicate, I guess. So then move into March. In March, I was just mad. I was mad at Jake. I was mad at my family. I was mad at myself. I was mad at my body. And the drinking continued. It started to just get even heavier and heavier, and I just could feel myself sinking lower and lower. And then we go into April. Things started getting a little tense with my job. Things with Jake were still not doing the greatest. That was, he was doing some things, but that was largely in part to me just being so unhappy with myself and everything, and I just couldn't pull myself out of the funk, I guess. But April is when I started to really see some dangerous behaviors. I started drinking every single night, and it wasn't, drink a glass or 2 of wine. I was drinking an entire bottle of wine and some beer, or I was drinking 8, 9, 10 beers. I was getting so blackout drunk that there were a lot of times that I couldn't even stay awake for the dinner that I just made. I was passing out. My sleeping was totally messed up. I was sleeping for maybe an hour or 2 a night, and that was usually because I was passing out and waking back up, and then I would just be awake. And it got more and more hard because, like I said, things were getting a little bit more difficult with my job. And then also I was trying to keep up my social media presence, and trying to be this inspirational person on social media, and then sitting in the floor crying in my kitchen right after I make the post about how you need to be your own motivation and you deserve everything and happiness is yours for the taking, I mean, I was lying. I was lying to myself. I was lying to all of you, and I don't want to be that person. And it honestly started to eat away at me that I was unable to be the person I was telling other people to be. So going into May, things were still just progressively getting worse. Mentally, I was in a terrible place. I was trying to be funny and happy and whatever, and it just wasn't working. I started to hate myself at an entirely new level. Not only because I felt like a fraud, but also because I wanted to be that person that was happy and smiling and doing all these fun things, but at the same time, all I wanted to do was cry and be drunk and just feel better. And it didn't feel like it was ever going to get better. Dealing with the infertility, Jake, my job, my family, just feelings about myself. I was in such a low place. I started telling my mom that I didn't want to be here and that I felt like I needed to go get help, but I was scared to go to a hospital. And I promised her I was going to get better just to be there for me. And unfortunately, I didn't get better. And my friends and my family, they all just started noticing some really dangerous behavior. I was just in such a low place. The feeling of hopelessness was incredibly overwhelming. I didn't ever see things getting better, and I told my mom that I wanted to go to the hospital, but I also didn't think it would do anything. I didn't really see the point, because once I got out of the hospital, everything was going to be the same. Nothing else changes. So, flash forward to 2 weeks ago today, my friend Brooke came to Havelock. This was after my friend Leslie had come 2 days before that and tried to get me to go to the hospital. I did not. I told her I didn't want to go. So Brooke took the day off from work, as did Leslie. Brooke showed up, pretty much told me that she was just here for me and that I had to get better. And that I was in a very, very dangerous place, and like I had to get better. Not only for myself, but for my family, for my friends. And hearing someone tell me that they didn't want to be in a world where I wasn't there meant so much. And to have it coming from my 2 best friends, and then from my parents, and then from my husband, especially when I was just so low. So I was fucking mad, like literally pissed. When I finally agreed to go to the hospital, I came home, I took a shower, I packed a bag. I was so mad at Leslie and Brooke and Jake. They told me that they were going to take me to make sure that I went there. So I voluntarily committed myself, but at the same time, they gave me the push that I needed. I don't want to go into the whole process of going, like what occurred in the hospital, just because that'll be a 3-hour video. But so I went to the emergency room. They went with me to the desk. I told them that I wanted to hurt myself and that I needed to be admitted to the hospital. I was taken into a little waiting room. They had me put on paper scrubs. And yeah, I stayed in the psychiatric ward at the hospital for 4 days. They got me on medication. I'm taking an antidepressant, an anti-anxiety medication, and then something to help me sleep. I'm gonna see a psychiatrist next week. So after spending 4 days in the hospital, I don't want to say that I'm suddenly like totally better. Everything is great. I still have a lot of work to do. Going to the hospital for me was more of a 4-day like pause button. I didn't have to think about my job. I didn't have to think about my marriage. I didn't have to think about bills, whatever. It was literally a pause, and it was just time for me. I got to figure out what kind of medication that I need to be on. I got to go ahead and get on medication, start letting it work its way through my body. And it's going to be a long road ahead. And I know I'll never be able to say, oh, I'm healed or whatever, but I'm taking the steps to get better, and I'm really proud of myself. So kind of moving on from here, in that like month and a half where I was drinking every single night, I gained 20 pounds. I'm working really hard to get that off. I don't like the way that my body feels having this extra weight on it. And I already kind of was really down on myself before, and I'm disappointed in myself that I let this happen now, but I'm definitely ready to get healthy, both physically and mentally again. So I'm excited to see what the future holds. I quit my full-time job. I'm really focusing a lot on me, but I also want to, I get a lot of joy and a lot of just, I have a passion for helping other people, so I want to do more of that. Whether it be encouraging people, helping people achieve their goals, whatever, I want to do that. And if that's something that brings me joy, I'm gonna run with it, because I feel like everybody has something that they're called to do in their life, and I want to figure out if that's mine. I guess that's it for this video. I'm going to put some links down below. If you or someone that you know is struggling right now, please reach out for help. Please help them reach out for help. I don't think I'll ever be able to thank my friends and my husband and my family enough for being there for me, for pushing me to get that help, and for supporting me throughout all of this. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and end it here. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Send me an email, send me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to talk. I want to open up the conversation. I don't want this to be like a taboo thing. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.